Okay, this is the Journey to Qualia, the book, and I'll just start at the beginning and just start reading. We have 33 pages so far, so we'll see how far we get into this. Again, these are dialogues starting off with Virgil speaking. All right, it is finally time for our journey to Qualia here in the year 2013. I will announce all the Glass Beat Game members who will accompany me on our trip right here. I am sorry, but I will not be able to bring everyone since this trip is of extreme importance and quite secretive. By being selected as a Glass Bead Game member, you are hereby granted an eternal life of perfection and beauty since your lives were significant enough to be considered worthy of this great honor. Will the elite members please step forward when your name is called? First Lieutenants Hermann Hesse, Plato, Parmenides, Zeno, Andre Gregory, Douglas Hofstadter, Michelangelo, Beethoven, Mozart, John Keats, Euclid, Kurt Gödel, George Cantor, Alan Watts, Gandhi, Democritus, Ayn Rand, Leo Buscaglia, Werner Heisenberg, Erwin Schrödinger, Max Planck, M.C. Escher, Rene Descartes, Gottfried Leibniz, George Berkeley, F. H. Bradley, Heraclitus, Anaxagoras, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Immanuel Kant. Second Lieutenants, please step forward. Richard Bach, Dante Alighieri, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, Raphael, Buddha, Aristotle, Niels Bohr, Bryce DeWitt, Hugh Everett, Roger Penrose, Louis de Broglie, John Wheeler. Third Lieutenants, please step forward. George Hegel, Socrates, Alfred North Whitehead, Georgius, Thales, George Orwell, Van Gogh, Dali, Brahms, Bach, Richard Wagner, Felix Mendelssohn, Goethe, Leucippus, and Bertrand Russell. Fourth Lieutenants, please step forward. Isaac Newton, Leonardo da Vinci, Auguste Rodin, Peter Ilich Tchaikovsky, Lewis Carroll, Praxiteles, Charles Sieff, Galileo, Paul Davies, Pythagoras, Albert Einstein, Martin Heidegger. Fifth Lieutenants, please step forward. Gary Zukov, Stephen Hawking, John Milton, Stuart Hameroff, John Stuart Bell, Thomas Young, Lisa Randall, Julian Barber, John McTaggart, and John Paul Sartre. Sixth Lieutenants, please step forward. Henry David Thoreau, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Thomas Mann, Miguel de Cervantes, Picasso, Rembrandt, Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Bernini, Donatello, Chopin, and Sylvia Plath. Friedrich Schiller, Shakespeare, William Blake, Fritjof Capra, and David Bohm. And finally, all the other miscellaneous Glass Bead Game members who I will not mention by name, please step forward. I said not mention, I will mention by name. Just get them all in, may as well. Virginia Woolf, Nick Herbert, Aldous Huxley, Norman Vincent Peale, James Joyce, Sophocles, Frank Baum, Marcel Proust, Titian, Haydn, George Frederick Handel, Igor Stravinsky, Franz Liszt, Anton Dvorak, Richard Strauss, Sergei Rachmaninoff, Franz Schubert, Edgar Allan Poe, Walt Whitman, Ralph Waldo Emerson, T.S. Eliot, William Butler Yeats, Virgil, David Hilbert, James Thomson, Pascal, Joseph Mazur, Jacob Bernoulli, John D. Barrow, Alan Turing, Archimedes, Lao Tzu, St. Thomas Aquinas, Spinoza, Eckhart Tolle, St. Augustine, St. Anselm, Erich Fromm, Confucius, Paul Dirac, Eugene Wigner, Mikio Kaku, John Gribben, Pauli, Max Born, Feynman, Seth Lloyd, Murray Gell-Mann, Fred Allen Wolfe, Edmund Husserl, David Lewis, Gilbert Ryle, David Armstrong, Peter Van Inwagen, Daniel Dennett, David Chalmers, William James, John Kehoe, John Cyril, Max Tegmark, Lawrence Krauss, Copernicus, Kepler, Jacqueline Dupree, Alyssa Toffoli, Neil Young, James Taylor, Jackson Brown, Van Morrison, Corey Taylor, Tracy Chapman, Ray LaMontagne, Patti Smith, Carl Jung, Mother Teresa, Joan of Arc, Tim Tebow, Jesus, Aphrodite, Achilles, Alexander the Great, Achilles, Homer, Xenophanes, Anaximander, Protagoras, Epicurus, Hippias, Phaedrus, Cicero, Diogenes, Euripides, Herodotus, Dr. Babette Babbage, David Hume, Henry Bergson, George Lemaitre, Wesley Salmon, Adolf Grunbaum, John Locke, Soren Kierkegaard, Fichte, Ludwig Wittgenstein, Empedocles, Schopenhauer, Plotinus, Martin Buber, Gottlieb Frege, Zoroaster, James Clerk Maxwell, Tesla, Christopher Langan, Meister Eckhart, Hemingway, and David Deutsch. Also, I will hereby grant a special exemption for the additional members of Megville. Please step forward when your name is called. Cathion, Justiniasis, Jathina, Roxamilian, and Rudicon. This is my final decision. No other members will be allowed into the Glass Bead game unless a future exemption is granted due to extreme worthiness. Alright, so we're going to jump right in. Aphrodite. So, as mentioned by Virgil, today is the first day of our journey to Qualia. Tony Magna. What is Qualia? Aphrodite. I'm not really sure, but I think it has something to do with the subjective experience that a human being has that transcends the material world. Tony Magna. So Qualia is your mind? Aphrodite. It is a state of mind that one might call a soul. Tony Magna. You say that this is something that transcends the material world? Aphrodite. Possibly. That is why I'm setting out on this journey today, to meet the members of the Glass Bead game, so that I can find out the truth about all this. Do you want to come with me? Tony Magna. Sure, but what time will we be back? Aphrodite. I'm not entirely sure if we will be coming back, but I know this is a journey that I must take. Tony Magna. Okay, let's do it. Aphrodite. I was told to meet everyone here at the Milwaukee Art Museum. Ah, here everyone is. It's nice to finally meet all of you in person. I know many of you have traveled great distances over many years. Everyone, this is my son Tony. Tony Magna. Wow, I never thought a day like this would ever come. This is amazing. Alan Watts. Hi Tony. At last we finally meet. I have heard a lot about you. They say that you are destined for great things. Tony Magna. Nice to meet you, Mr. Watts. I love all your videos and books. Your ideas are fantastic. Michelangelo. Hi, Mark. I hear that you have been glorifying my name around town. Is that true? Aphrodite. Yes, it is, since I'm inspired by your creative ability, to say the least. Michelangelo. I'm flattered, but it really comes naturally, as strange as that sounds. Herman Hesse. Let me introduce some of the first lieutenants of your tour. I am Herman Hesse, who wrote the Glass Bead game. This is Parmenides, who believes that only pure being is what exists. This is Beethoven, who is an ode to joy. This is Ayn Rand, who only loves herself and everyone virtuous enough to be loved. This is Zeno, who believes that existence is a paradox. And oh, this is Friedrich Nietzsche, who believes in the Overman. Group. Good to meet you guys finally after all these years. This art museum is kind of neat since it has huge wings on the outside that open up like a bird. This is really a work of art. Entrance attendants. I'm sorry to inform you that I can't let you guys in without real money. Alexander the Great. What are you talking about? I am worth all the gold in the known world. Do you know who I am? I am Alexander the Great. I demand that you let us in. Entrance attendant. I'm sorry, but I will have to call the police if you don't leave immediately. Aphrodite. I'll get it, Alex. Try to keep your mouth closed until we get inside. How much is it? Entrance attendant. Let's see. 220 times 15 is $2,300. Mercredite, oh shoot, I only have $10 on me. Policeman, what's going on here? Who are all you people? Socrates, officer, I'm Socrates, and we're all members of the glass bead game on a journey to Qualia. This is Plato and Immanuel Kant and Gottfried Leibniz and my student Aristotle and so on. Surely you've heard of us. Policeman, all right, and I'm Peter Pan. Let's go, everyone. Pile into these paddy wagons. We're going to have to haul you all downtown so that until we can really figure out who you are. Socrates, but officer, we already told you who we are. This is an outrage. I'm not going anywhere with you. Clunk. Policeman, how do you like that for outrage? A billy club to the head gets them every time. District Attorney, Judge, I have tried to find out who these people really are, but they keep telling me that they're these special characters from the past. I don't know what to do with them. Judge, I hereby decree that you 220 people go to a mental institution until you get your mind straight. Group, what the hell? We're telling you the truth. Judge, the shrinks will have to take it from here. So ordered. Nurse Ratchet, all right, group, I want you to tell me what's on your mind now that you are at this distinguished institution of brainwashing. Lisa Randall, I know this may sound weird, but these people are really of a different time and state of mind. They are who they say they are. Nurse Ratchet, all right, one at a time. We got all the time in the world. So who are you, sir? Zeno, I am Zeno of Ely, born in 490 BC in southern Italy. My friend Bertrand Russell claims that my ideas are immeasurably subtle and profound. Nurse Ratchet, okay, this is why you are here. Obviously, you are not who you say you are, since you couldn't have been born 2,500 years ago. Zeno, I know it sounds like a paradox, but it's true. Nurse Ratchet, all right, and you, sir, who are you? Hermann Hesse, I am Hermann Hesse. In a way, you could say that I am the one that is responsible for getting all these people together like this. Nurse Ratchet, good, so now we are getting somewhere. Where did you guys come from? Hermann Hesse, it's not so much where we came from as it is to where we are going. Nurse Ratchet, all right, I'll play along. Where are you going then? Hermann Hesse, we are on a journey to Qualia. Nurse Ratchet, and where is this, may I ask? Hermann Hesse, actually, I'm not really sure where we're going per se. Nurse Ratchet, how do you plan on getting there if you don't know where you are going? Hermann Hesse, I guess the best way I can say it is that we are going to a state of perfection. Plato, that's right. If you're familiar with my work, you would know that there is something called a Platonic form, that it transcends this material world which exists in a state of perfection. Nurse Ratchet, there are 50 states in America. Are you saying that you are going overseas somewhere? Rene Descartes, yes, our future coordinates do include Europe and Asia. Nurse Ratchet, well then, since I don't deem you guys to be any immediate danger to anyone but possibly yourselves, I have decided to release all of you. But you may want to keep all this stuff to yourselves for a while. I don't know if the ordinary world is ready for you guys. Oh, also the Pope granted you guys a special exemptions for some crazy reason. They won't need any money on your trip, so don't worry about that anymore. Group, okay, we promise we'll stay out of everyone's way. George Orwell, that was a close one. What did I tell you about the evils of the state? Mozart, no biggie. Forget all that. Here we are at Carnegie Hall. I arranged for a concert to get our minds back on track. The featured artist is Jacqueline Dupree. Jacqueline Dupree, welcome everyone to this perfectly acoustic arena. Cello music fills the hall slowly as an entire symphony chimes in for the next hour and finally beautifully ends. Jacqueline Dupree, I would like to thank all of the composers here for letting me be part of a truly magical piece of beauty. Thanks Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, Haydn, Brahms, Bach, Wagner, Mendelssohn, Tchaikovsky, Handel, Stravinsky, Liszt, Dvorak, Strauss, Rachmaninoff, and Schubert. Group, applaud, applaud, applaud. Zeno, that was great. I wonder why the nurse told us that we to stay out of everyone's way, though. Ellen Turing. I thought since we were in New York that we could go have dinner in Greenwich Village tonight. Are you guys interested? Group. Sure, it sounds fun. Patty Smith. I know this great cafe where they allow people to read their poetry while you enjoy a nice meal. It's called Maddie's and Baddies. Do you guys want to go there? Group. Okay. Patty Smith. Well, here it is. Come on in, everyone. Obnoxious bystander. Hey, faggots. What are you guys doing here? Are you here for the faggot festival? Alan Turing. Leave us alone. We're not bothering you. Obnoxious bystander. Yes, you are bothering me because I know that you are a bunch of faggots. Alexander the Great. I'm not going to tell you one. I'm going to tell you one time, sir, nicely, to leave this man alone, or you are going to get some major blowback. Obnoxious bystander. Funny you should mention blow, faggot. Snap. Obnoxious bystander. Ugh. Gandhi. What did you do, Alex? Alexander the Great. I snapped his neck and threw his body into the dumpster in the alley. Gandhi. Just like that? Alexander the Great. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I asked him nicely to leave Alan alone. Gandhi. Do you feel that you were justified in doing that? Alexander the Great. You may not know this, but Alan Turing is contemplating suicide due to the fact that he is constantly criticized over his homosexuality. This is a very serious life-threatening event to him. I had to put a stop to it immediately. Don't worry, though. The garbage trucks will be along in the morning to get rid of the trash. Problem solved. Gandhi. That was a little extreme, don't you think? Alexander the Great. Not really. I don't have the time to deal with stupid people like that, so I tend to just eliminate the problem immediately, like I did, and then I don't get infected by their negative ideas. Gandhi. You know that I preach a theory of nonviolence, don't you? I believe that if everyone would just love one another, that we would create a perfect world. As a matter of fact, I believe that it is the next evolution of man to do this, just the same way that the Industrial Revolution changed the world, except this will be an evolution of love. Alexander the Great. That's all fine and good. I guess I just don't believe in that kind of thinking. Sorry. Gandhi. Okay, but I want to talk to you more in depth about this in the future, all right? Alexander the Great. Okay. Aristotle. The guy got what he deserved. Patti Smith. Who's going to be the first to read some of their poetry? Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I'll go first. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. Leo Buscaglia. I like that, Antoine. Teach people to be inspired by their work, and the rest will take care of itself. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And now here's my secret, a very simple secret. It's only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Gandhi. Alex, this is the kind of thing that I was trying to explain to you earlier. Alexander the Great. I couldn't agree more, actually. Gandhi. You're a complex individual, Alex. This may take work to figure you out. Alexander the Great. There's not much to figure out. I'm just a plain Joe, really. Johann von Goethe. I'm next. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. Friedrich Nietzsche. I think that there is some truth to that statement. Zeno. I wonder why that is. Ayn Rand. Basically, it's due to the fact that man has a free will. Some men are inspired by beauty and creativity, and most other men are just useless smucks. They are inspired by greed and lust and are simply not inspired at all. You could say that they are one step above amoeba level. Zeno. Aren't you the one that preaches the virtue of self-interest? Ayn Rand. I am. Men are free to be useless smucks, but I am also free to judge them as useless smucks as well. Jesus. I preach that you should love everyone equally. Ayn Rand. If you say that you love everyone, then you are saying that you love no one. That is a great mistake, since the virtuous deserve your love, and the useless smucks don't deserve anything but the misery that they wallow in. Jesus. That view is a little harsh, wouldn't you say? Ayn Rand. Maybe, but I'm not the one that created the universe with these objective truths. John Keats, me next, Ode to a Grecian Urn. And I'll just read the last line, last paragraph. O Attic shape, fair attitude with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and the trodden weed, thou silent form dost tease us of thought, as doth eternity cold pastorel. When old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom you sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know. Raphael. I'm not sure what all that means, but for some reason it seems incredibly sad and wonderful all at the same time. Siddhartha. I think I would have to wake up every morning and recite that back to myself over and over again while watching the sunrise to fully grasp the mystery of what that is all about. I think I'm going to do that for the next couple of days and see what happens. Okay, we're at 21 minutes now, so I'm going to stop here, take a break, and then we'll start up again.